solid trades, and now with Blackpool and BKB online, they're going in. Look for AUI to turn this. Finds Sylar, but he's BKB. He's not taking damage, and Fear's trapped pretty far back. Can they bring them down? Rocket Barrage doing the work they need. LGD turning this. Sumail waiting. He's got no Laguna left. He already chucked it out, and now can't really do the damage on his own. Trapped in the trees. Yeah, it's gonna fall. Fear finds more. They're gonna get the Earth Sugar 2, 4, dead, possibly 5. On the run, no escape, no mercy. He'll die as well, and it's an ultra for the young Sumail.
Wow, and maybe even flies in, unable to really fight anything after that. And EG with the most dominant fight so far of this game. Sumail managing to get an ultra kill, and I mean, EG just have so much money after this fight right now. All of them topping 1,000 gold.
It's just taking so damn long to kill PPD. They get the snowball off. We've seen the mech saves. Then he graves himself, and by the time he dies, it's like, great, you've gotten a Dazzle, you've committed your Global, your Echo Slam, your Storm's Monopool, and then they just don't have the follow-up blitz.
That's a really bad sign right now for LGD, because that was largely a 2v5, 3v5 engagement for almost half of the fight or more, and LGD still weren't able to win it or bring anybody down right now, and you're just seeing the lack of damage on their cores.
AUI up to 1,200 gold here. We could see that Blink coming out next. He's going to get eyes on Maybe. Maybe doesn't want to go in, and he will go into the Orchid build. So let's talk a little bit about what LGD do from here, Blitz. They obviously lose a lot of momentum from that fight. The Storm has slowed down quite a bit as well. Down to 7 Bloodstone charges from the 9 he had. MMY, he has picked up a Perseverance, so it looks like he's going to go straight into the Refresher on the Silencer.
I think if you're LGD, you just have to take smart fights. You have to be more intelligent about how you initiate, because PPD right now with the Grave is doing a little bit too much. You either have to blow him up immediately. You use the Earthshaker Fissure, you commit the Storm to it, kill him because the Grave is just doing a little bit too much, or you just look for the counter initiations yourself with that MMY Global.
They're balling in, they're going up Sumail, they get off the pole here. Hook's going to follow it up. Yules is available and he'll throw it out. He's going to bounce off the cogs though as the Global comes out. Sumail dead off the bat, a better start. Xiaowei may be punished here by Fear. Brought low, but he makes it home. And they end a mega kill streak on the Lina. That's another Bloodstone charge, bringing Maybe back to dead even here at 8.
Yeah, and this is what they need right now. Sumail, they use a lot for it. I mean, they expended the Global Silence, but it's probably worth it just for the spree and to help your mid laner out a little bit more. Is maybe really close to that level 16, but so is Sumail and EG. They've got the medallion completed on the Dazzle. This might just mean that they want to go for the Roshan, because they know that LGD aren't going to commit a fight without the Global Silence. So the smoke flies in. Fear can TP into this mid lane if he wants. He's got a fully completed Manta style now too, and once Sumail gets up, I think EG can just commit for the Roshan.
Dear Lord, he is farmed. And at the same time, Yao has gotten a Blink Dagger. So big initiation potential. They did not have it in the last fight. You mentioned instantly blowing up Dazzle. This may be a tool to do it, or just to catch someone out before the Grave comes into play. But EG are pinning out the bottom lane, and it's like you said, with the Global on cooldown, now is your time to head towards Roche. And fortunately for EG, there's a double damager in here. They actually smoke. Are they just going to blindly smoke into the pit? Do they look for a kill? We're about to find out. But with this DD, this should be a fairly straightforward Roche, as long as LGD don't come to contest.
Oh, the Rocket's been extended in bottom lane too, and this is so smart from EG. They're showing the Eidolons in this bottom lane so that LGD have no idea that this is happening. LGD is under the impression that EG are going to need the Eidolons just to be able to do it, but AUI tanks it really quickly. The Frozen Sigil slows this down so much, and Sumail picking up that DD. This is going to make this so quick, and I think this is going to go on Sumail.
Sumail will grab the Aegis. EG, another big objective for them. Golden experience, very close here. It's basically a dead heat for 27 minutes. Lots of late game on both teams, but EG now with the extra tool that they can put to use, giving Sumail the freedom to get more aggressive, and also what will aid and fuel the aggression here, Blitz, is he's almost got the level 3 ultimate, at which point you're looking at 950 damage. That's over half the Storm's health. It's about half the Gyro's, a little bit over too, and it's almost a one-shot on Yao's Earthshaker. 1,000, the Clockwork of Xiaowei at around that 1,500 mark. MMY is actually going to live with about 10 HP if he gets the good.
I mean, at this point, you probably don't want to expend it on one of the supports unless they've used all of their abilities. but it does speak to how leveled and how far Sumail is at 28 minutes in the game. He's kept up in levels with the Storm Spirit, who's had better initiations than him most of this game, and I mean, that's the strength of Storm, but maybe he's going to finish that Orchid, and I think this is what's going to allow them to start winning these fights, because he can just go for PPD in the backline, silence them up, you throw down the global at the same time, and then there's very little they can do to save PPD.
And they also don't have to commit the global if it's like a hero alone. At that point, you can save the global, just use the Orchid. And if it's someone like the Dazzle, he's got no way to save himself at that point.
Looks like he wants to build for the refresher, and this Midas pickup is looking smarter and smarter by the second, because there's no way he would have this amount of farm otherwise.
No, absolutely not. And it also gives him the levels. Gives the global silence that extra duration. Of course, the mana cost ramps up rather dramatically here. Could become a problem for him. It's already 375 for the global. That's before the refresher usage, but I imagine we'll see him get something to aid with that soon. As EG make an aggressive movement into the Radiant jungle, they've got the whole team pretty much in the area. And they're going to get eyes on mid, where Sylar is waiting, but he's got to worry about the Aghanim Scepter ultimate to come out from Sumail. He will BKB dodge the stun, but that forces out a very long duration of BKB. The 9-second charge is down, and it's also just on cooldown as well, which means MMY is left alone, trapped deep behind the Radiant lines, but there's no backup. Yet until Xiaowei comes in too late. They've lost MMY, and Fear's got onto Xiaowei, muscling his way right through the Clockwork's armor. Makes him look rather squishy. Carved him up like a turkey there, he did. EG now gonna push on mid. Guardian Greaves get popped. They still have the BKB Black Hole. There is a buyback on Silencer, but with no Clockwork and no hook shot, this may be cue for EG to start threatening even the tier 3 tower.
They've got the Guardian Greaves up. I mean, LGD, they still have the global silence, so he can just wait on AUI's BKB, but at the same time, AUI can just not pop it. He can just wait and say, okay, are you really just not going to use the global the entire fight? They'll take that trade at this phase of the game.
Another tower dropping here. EG starting to extend their map control and along with it their lead. And now they pick up a BKB on Sumail, making him much more durable in these fights. Probably doesn't even need the Grave in most cases to stay alive at this point. Still the physical damage for LGD not quite there. Sylar hasn't purchased his next component, up to 3,500 gold, and EG going for the last outer tower this game, but LGD want to contest it. Yao, he's been revealed in onto AUI 2000, PPD's there. Where's that global? They pop it now. PPD not able to save his Enigma. They've lost 2 off the bat. And a pause will come out from MMY as the fight's basically over at this point, it looks like. There is a little bit of mana on the Storm, but not really enough to chase.
They did use the Earthshaker Echo Slam and the call down plus the BKB with the global silence. You get 2 heroes there. It is a good trade for them. They're probably going to just deny the tower and back out, but at the same time, it's not like you lost Sumail or Fear.
Yeah, you lose your Enigma here is really a 4-position support that's kind of become a core, and you lose the Tusk, who's probably more of the actual 4-position for Universe at this stage, more just there for the sigil and utility play. And Blitz, game's going to have a moment here for the teams to collect their thoughts, so let's kind of walk through this team by team here as we've got a lot of excited fans behind us. Let's start with LGD. The position LGD's in now, how do you approach the game?
I think if you're LGD, all you have to do is continue to play this type of passive-aggressive style, let EG push into you at this point, because it's incredibly hard for them to start a fight. If they don't know where the Enigma is, he walks in with the BKB Black Hole, and you've already used the global silence. It's so hard for you to take
and you've probably already used your hookshot as well, because it's normally Xiao8 starting the fights here.
Yeah, exactly. Starting a fight right now for LGD, a little bit too difficult, unless you immediately get the jump off on a core, but that gets increasingly harder when Fear has a Manta style. You've got BKBs on 2 of your cores already. You've got the PPD Dazzle who's about to pick up his Glimmer Cape, so it's a little bit too difficult for LGD to just pick up blind fights. For EG, all they have to do is play this game patiently. Fear's getting an insane amount of farm. He's keeping up in net worth. You've got a lot of different ways to lock down the Storm Spirit. You're not too worried about him. And Sumail, I mean, he still has that Aghanim Scepter, and the BKB charges are running out.
All right, well, with that, we'll get more breakdown as we'll hand it off to the analyst while we wait for this pause to finish up.
Thank you very much, LD and Blitz down there. Just got a little bit of pause in play, and probably a good time for you guys to chip in with where we're at. Malini, what do you think so far?
LGD hasn't been terribly crisp with their execution. We've seen a lot of wasted globals. I think that one time that at Secret Shot where Lina solo killed the Shaker, they actually blew 2 ultimates. He tried to echo to stop him, and they blew global to save him. And then they're going to capitalize on every single opportunity that they miss these global silences. And if he gets initiated on, we saw the missed 4 staff. It's just not crisp from LGD. At the same time, there is a silencer building the refresher, so they have that going for them. But at the same time, the Enigma has BKB and Greaves, ways to get out of 2 global silences.
I think LGD, in a couple of situations, they were trying very hard to save their teammates, like what Ben mentioned, blowing a global just to save a support. Not sure if it's worth it at the end of the day. And Xiaowei, like a few moments ago, he was trying to hook shot and trying to save the silencer when he was being jumped by the Lina. So,
like, there are a bit of misleads, sure, but I feel like for example, that last fight, LGD played it perfectly, but it's also AOI's fault in the sense that the only hero of EG that can actually counter LGD's initiation, you know, EG, they're on the offensive, first of all. That's why they died. And that's a good thing. It's very good that they pressure LGD because they can. They understand that they can because of that Enigma, BKB, and Greaves. Because whoever they go on, it's very easy for Enigma to just pop the BKB, and they have the defensive hole. So it's very fair. Like, my point is that Storm can't jump anyone besides Enigma. If he jumps Enigma, then they can fight, because with Global, no one's going to be able to save AOI. But they have to burst him down, though. And that's what happened. But if he jumps anyone else, Enigma is always going to be the backup solution for EG.
Wagger, agree?
So far, yeah, I agree. But so far, they have been doing a pretty good job. As you said, they did waste some global, but they have done a good job between Xiao 8 and maybe. Xiao 8 playing the Clockwork in this game is kind of interesting to note as well, because he's the offlaner this game. So they're mixing it up, but we talked about it during the game, and they're not doing what Fnatic did, which is realize that you're losing a lot and switch up the players then. They actually have won 2 series in a row, and now they're mixing up the players a little bit. And they did it previously as well.
yeah, we suspected it was maybe because of the Tusk, since Yao is the specialized player for that hero. But this game, there's no Tusk, there's Earthshaker. So we are not sure why it's happening. It could be the fact that they want to put Xiao 8 onto the Clockwork more, but during the group stages, Yao has been playing on very good clock.